So it looks like we only have 3 members here so far. Uh-oh. Oh my.
It seems strange since so many more members were on the finance and audit meeting just a few minutes ago.
I guess they all went to have supper or something.
It could be. I don't blame them, but
Tracy, you're just upset they didn't invite you.
yeah, maybe.
Or they did and you missed you just missed the memo.
Oh,
I have to say, it's kind of weird. I hope they find the link.
It is weird. I can only think of one other time in the last 10 years where a meeting was started and couldn't continue because of lack of quorum.
would we start it if we don't have a quorum?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It is just so strange because Mark, Paula, and
Jaime.
and Dr. Gomez, they were all on the last call with us.
So now we have Ilda, so now there are 4 of us.
So
Okay, we
one
just
more.
need one more.
Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are all rested after the nice spring break.
And here comes Paula.
Okay. All right, then I guess we'll call the meeting to order. And the first item of business is public comment, and I believe anyone who would like to be in public comment will put their name in the chat or otherwise indicate it. And I will also announce that Lynn Ide, the chair, is at the Board of Finance with Rita to answer questions and discuss the budget. So I will be acting chair today. So Janet, is there anybody listed for public comment?
We have no public comment.
Oh dear. All right, then. We will also have public comment at the end, so. The next item on the agenda is approval of the Board of Education meeting minutes from April 7th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? I see Katina. And a second?
Second.
Second, Ilda or Brendan.
Doesn't matter to me.
I think I saw Brendan, so. Okay, are there any changes or comments about the minutes? Okay, so all in favor of the motion?
We'll do a roll call vote.
Okay,
Dr. Cabano,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci.
aye.
Has Mr. Doyle joined us? No. Dr. Gomez? No. Ms. Haney?
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill?
Aye.
Ms. Ray?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, and our next item is the superintendent's report. Well, yes, one report, it looks like, the COVID update.
That is correct. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully everybody can see the presentation. All right, our usual update, going to give you the latest information on COVID-19. I'm also going to share with the board our end of the year planning, some of the things that we have going on over the next 8 weeks of school. One of the really exciting things is the district has partnered again with Hartford Healthcare, and we are going to be offering a vaccination clinic to our students, 16 through 18-year-old students, as well as their eligible family members. That'll happen on April 28th between 9 and 4 at Windham Hospital. Obviously, the vaccine is not a requirement for school, but DPH continues to tell us that it is proven to reduce the number of cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. So we want to offer this opportunity for our students and their families. I also can let you know that our family liaisons are working to support the town's vaccination efforts between May 2nd and May 4th. So we're happy about that and proud of the family liaisons and Robinson Camacho's entire department. And I want to let the board know that any Windham Public School staff members who were vaccinated in the closed clinics that Hartford Healthcare offered in March, they are now fully vaccinated. So that's exciting. We think about 72% of our staff members took part in that closed clinic. So it's exciting to know that we've close to getting to that herd immunity number they're always talking about. So that's good. As usual, I put up this chart that shows, once again, Windham is not in the top 10. We did have an increase in cases from the last 2 weeks, but we are still not in the top 10, thank goodness. We are at 28.9 cases per 100,000, which puts us at the 122nd slot out of 169 school districts. And you can tell that many of the districts have changed or moved around from 2 weeks ago, but Windham is not in the top 10, and that's what's most important to me. We're definitely doing better than we were before. Big shout out to the COVID warrior team that gave me the latest data today. This is what we have currently for quarantine and isolation for both students and staff, as well as the total positive case numbers since September of students and staff, and the total number of resolved cases. So if you look at the 379 and the 982, that's the number of cases that our nurses have been involved in tallying and monitoring quarantines and isolations. That's a lot of cases just being resolved. Total positive cases 75 for the staff members since September out of 717, 328 of our students, which is the 10.2% of the 3,208 students. So that's where we are right now as of 3:15 today. This is just to let you know from our last board meeting, a list of the dates that have passed by and the number of cases the district has been notified of. There's a couple days there where we had 3 and 4 cases. I wish there weren't any cases, but that's not going to happen. So I am still pleased to see that there are a number of days where there's 1 or 0 cases happening. So just keeping the board up to date on it. We don't anticipate, DPH is not anticipating that COVID is going to go away. We're just going to learn to manage it. So I want everyone to understand that as well. Tonight, the 5 o'clock call, the governor's task force shared just some basic data. 61% of all of the Connecticut population who are 18 years and older have received at least their first dose of vaccine. Over 83% of everyone in the state over age 75 has received at least their first. And actually they said that number was probably representative of the second dose. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine that they put on pause is likely to be reinstated with some restrictions. Dr. Gifford, Deirdre Gifford, the head of DPH, said that there obviously was a spike statewide, but the cases are now declining. She was asked a few questions about the variant. She spoke about 2 variants, the UK one that people probably have heard now for several months, and a variant that I haven't heard a whole lot about, but they're calling it the New York variant. She says that those 2 are the most prevalent in our state right now, but that all indications show that the vaccine is effective on all of the variants. So she said, she used the term, all roads lead to vaccine. So DPH keeps saying that we just need to ensure more and more of our residents are vaccinated. They continue, both Dr. Gifford and the Lieutenant Governor continue to talk about vaccine equity and using the Social Vulnerability Index to make sure that our neediest communities have access to vaccine, which is why there's so many efforts going on here in Windham. And on May 19th, all of the Connecticut COVID business restrictions will be eliminated. The only one that will stay is the requirement to wear a mask indoors. Everything else will be gone. There will be no more COVID restrictions. So it's fascinating that we've like sort of turned the corner. At least the state is saying we're turning the corner. I will let you all know that on the superintendent's calls, many of the superintendents are asking if all the restrictions are being eliminated in other places across the state, will there be changes to how schools are supposed to function? And the answer has been no. Schools will maintain everything they're doing, even though there will be, pretty significant changes happening across the state. I know, Mary, I can tell by your face you're confused because we were too, but that's what they're telling us. They just want us to stay the course. So we're going to be staying the course. It's not making people very happy, but that is what we've been told by DPH and the State Department of Ed that we should do. There have been no new pieces of feedback on our COVID compliance since our last board meeting, still the same data. So that sort of wraps up the COVID update. And then this is where we are in terms of our current planning. On April 9th, the State Department of Ed issued some interim considerations for all end of the year school events. So we're following those guidelines. There is an outdoor prom that we're working on for Windham High School students. It's scheduled for May 21st. We have a waiver that families will sign from Shipman and Goodwin, very similar to the waiver that we offered for sports, same kind of deal. We have already decided, my COVID warrior team has already decided that if there turns out that there's a positive case and we have to contact trace the prom, we are not going to have the nurses try to do that. We are simply going to do an all call to every one of the prom attendees. And they will all, if they're not fully vaccinated at that point, they will all have to be quarantined. And we're going to actually put that information right into the waiver we have families sign up front. If it makes them uncomfortable, they can make the decision whether or not they want their student to participate, but we want to be upfront about it. We can't possibly make 150 or 200 phone calls and to do that. So that is our plan right now. The high school will have its outdoor graduation, or in the process of planning the outdoor graduation, for June 16th with a rain date of June 17th. We do know that anyone who takes advantage of the closed vaccine clinic we're offering to our 16 through 18-year-old students and their family members, if you take advantage of that, you will be fully vaccinated before that high school graduation comes. So that will absolutely help us feel a little more confident about putting people together, even outdoors. 8th grade ceremonies for Barrows, June 14th, also outdoors. Windham Middle School, June 11th. And the elementary schools are still currently planning their 5th grade promotion. More than likely, those will end up to be virtual celebrations, and we're comfortable with that. So these are the things we're in the process of planning for the end of the school year. If you look at our calendar, we have exactly 8 weeks left. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. Put this one in the books and then not think about it again, because it's been some year. I don't know if there's any questions. Okay.
This is Ilda. I have just one question
Mary, you're muted.
about the school. I'm not muted. About the school. You said that the school will still continue to have restrictions. When will they tell us what that will look like?
The last we heard was that all of the things that we currently have in place for mitigation strategies and procedures will stay in place. They're not changing what the schools are being asked to do. They're just changing everything else around the schools. So they did, the acting commissioner of ed was on the call tonight, and she did say that they are continuing to take our feedback, the questions we ask at those Tuesday DPH meetings, and to work on whether or not they're going to make any changes, and will be kept, up to date if they make changes. Right now, we're told just continue to stay the course. So we're staying the course.
Dr. Youngberg, I had a question. It just that is 3 weeks from the date the high school clinic is, which is next week. Will there be a half day or I'm a little concerned about the students.
So yeah, it's a good question. We already kind of talked about it. I think it depends on how many of the students we get signed up to take that first dose. And then we'll know, like I said to Ms. Kavanaugh, if we don't have a lot of people taking advantage, it might not be necessary to make an adjustment like that. But if we get a couple hundred kids, we might have to make a decision. So we're waiting to see who actually takes advantage. And Hartford Healthcare can give us a total number of who signed up, so we'll know. Any other questions? All right, great. Thanks.
So are we moving on to committee reports, or did you want to have anything else to add to your report?
Oh, that's it.
Okay, so we have the Finance and Audit Committee report up first. I think that's Mark.
Yes, let me just, oh, my video's off. Let me start my video. Hello, okay, we just finished the meeting and let me get my notes. There is a set of budget transfers. I think that was in the package. Am I correct, Tracy? Once again, we're continuing to correct a few account numbers, but primarily purpose is to move money so that we can account for the grant money and the money that we didn't spend for COVID into other areas so that we can take care of that. The only significant number in there, for those of you who are looking, there's a $470,000 transfer, which is the 2% set aside from the ECS that we promised to give the town back because we didn't need it because of this, the whole covert grants and covert situation. So you'll see a $470 transfer in there, but that reflects the 2% that the town is getting back from the ECS. We discussed the March financials, and again, that 470,000 came up during that discussion. And we are also discussed a possible employee retirement incentive, and that is a proposal that was put forth by the finance and personnel departments as a way of, again, taking some liability off the books in the future and taking advantage of some extra dollars that we may have. They're going to, both the administration is going to work on that to firm up the details, and then there will more than likely be a special phone call or meeting or email next week about it. Last year we talked about this. The board didn't vote on it last year, but the committee felt strongly that the entire board should at least be apprised of the situation. So that is essentially the discussions we had at the finance committee meeting. Any questions? Okay, Mary, I know I sent an email out, but I'm gonna have to step out because I have a Dollars for Scholars meeting around the treasurer, so I have to go to that meeting for a quick report. If I have time, I'll come back. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Our next report is Tracy Lambert with School Planning and Design Committee.
We have not met since the meeting at the beginning of the month, so I have no updated report tonight.
Well, that was brief. Thank you. The Policy Committee is next.
And that would be me, Ilda. So we had an emergency meeting yesterday, and it was only an emergency because it's not the scheduled day. And it was only because we needed Attorney Ritter's presence, and that was the only day she was available. So she addressed the committee regarding the policies that might have to be edited due to findings during the forensic audit. Seems like that was eons ago. I think that was a year ago. So there's some recommendations will be complicated by the fact, and she's going to look into it, and she would look at the present policies and provide a list to the committee of those that would suggest, because some of them could be removed or changed. So we focused on that, and we also determined that policy 6142, the school wellness policy, is ready for the board. I don't know if that's going to be for the next meeting because I don't see it on here. But we also have the second reading with changes to policy 3281. And our next meeting will be next month. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Ilda or for Katina? Thank you for that report, Ilda. The next one is the Executive Committee. Oh God, I think Lynn would have given the report. She may have given the report last time we met, and we haven't had a meeting since then, so we're just going to go over that one. And then we have Paula Haney with the Ad hoc Elementary School Consolidation Committee.
We have not met since our last meeting. We will be meeting on the 27th. And we'll get an update from Dr. Youngberg on the classroom size question, and maybe we'll have some information from our gentleman from Friar. And no more bets. I decided to do my meeting from work.
Okay, are there any questions for Paula? All right, so we're moving on to action items. Just make sure you let Lynn I know that how quickly I I was able to chair this meeting. So approval of budget transfers. That is our first action item. I'm trying to find it. I think Mark would have presented that, but he's doing his dollars per scholars, so
I'll make
Tracy
the motion.
Lambert, do we need to have a motion for this?
Yeah,
Yes.
It says that we approve the transfers, so that's a motion?
Yes, you have to have a motion to approve the transfers, yes.
Okay, thank you. So who
I'll
would like to
second
make that
that.
motion?
I will make the motion then.
Thank
to
you, Katina.
approve the budget transfers presented by Mr. Doyle and Ms. And Rita.
Second.
Okay, any discussion about that? Hearing none. Janet, we could have a roll call vote.
Dr. Gabon-Owen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Abstain?
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
Our next action item is the second reading of changes to policy number 3281.2, school fundraisers. That's reference 3.
I make a motion to approve?
I'll
Is there a
second.
second? Okay. So the background is just the changes to this policy were presented on April 7th. One change has been made to provide for funds to be deposited into bank accounts maintained by the district. So is there any discussion? All right, let's vote.
Dr. Gabon-Owen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, action item number 4 is the approval of acceptance of a donation of topsoil for the playing fields at Windham Middle School. So do we make a motion and then
Yeah,
have
you
the
make a motion. I make a motion to accept.
Thank you.
I
I
second
have
that.
Second.
Who seconded?
Katina.
Katina. Okay, Mr. Jared Fromm, the athletic coordinator at the middle school, requested the board approve a donation of topsoil for the baseball and softball fields at the middle school from Windham Materials. The district will be responsible for the delivery fees only. Any questions? Okay, let's vote.
Dr. Gabon-Owen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, we have the approval of acceptance of a donation of face masks from the Department of the Army. Do I have a motion for that?
I make a motion
So
to
moved.
approve. Tracy?
Seconded
Second.
by
Second.
Brendan.
Brendan.
And the Department of the Army would make a donation of 4,000 cloth face masks for use in Windham Public Schools, which is really wonderful. Any discussion or questions?
Did everybody get masks, like every district, or are we special?
I don't know.
I mean, I know we're special, but
I don't actually know, but I can find out if we were the only ones.
I was just curious. That's all. It's not that important. I was just curious.
It was
So
our
let's vote.
local recruiting station that delivered them. So I think it was a local donation.
Thank you, Ms. Testa.
You're welcome.
Think we're ready to vote?
Dr. Cabanoen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have another approval of acceptance of a donation by the Windham Regional Community Council to support Windham families in need. Do I have a
I move we
motion?
accept the donation.
Second, Tracy.
Brendan first, Tracy second. The Department of Family and Community Partnerships request approval of a donation made by Windham Regional Community Council to provide Stop and Shop gift cards for Windham Public School families in need during the COVID crisis. The donation will be $1,200. That's very generous.
Yes, with gratitude.
No questions or discussion? Okay, I think we're ready to vote on that.
Dr. Cabanoen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is approval of the agreement for solar power and services between Green Skies Clean Energy LLC and the Windham Board of Education. This is a very thick item, which we did discuss at our last meeting.
I make the motion.
I
Tracy,
I'll
second.
second.
I think that was Jaime, seconded. Sorry.
Fine.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so the district is desirous of entering into a contract with Green Skies Clean Energy regarding the supply of solar power at North Windham Public Schools. A copy is enclosed. Any comments or anything to discuss about that?
I can just assure you that we worked closely with the attorney on this particular agreement before it got anywhere near the group did.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure it was as financially advantageous as we could get it. So there has been a little bit of negotiation from what I understand on cost and cost back to the district. So we worked on that a little bit.
Excellent. I think we're ready to vote.
Dr. Cabanoen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, next is resolutions regarding the North Windham School roof replacement and solar power installation project. So the motion would be to enter the following resolution regarding the North Windham roof replacement and solar installation project. Is there a motion for that? Do we read the resolutions once we make the motion?
I can read it as I make the motion if that would be easier for you.
Oh, okay, I just wasn't sure if there was a certain order, so thank you.
Finding it. Hold on, it's at the bottom of that thick packet. Here we go. Board of Education entering to the following resolution, the North Windham School. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education authorizes the filing of the grant applications to the Commissioner of Education and the Commissioner of Construction Services for the North Windham School roof replacement and solar power installation project. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education hereby authorizes the preparation of drawings and specifications for the North Windham School roof replacement and solar power installation. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education hereby authorizes the expenditure of $1.45 million for bonds to cover the anticipated project costs to complete the North Windham roof replacement and solar power installation project. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education authorizes the financing of its local share plus potential ineligible costs or $290,000 for the North Windham School roof replacement and solar power installation project. Resolved, the town of Windham establishes the ad hoc North Windham School Roof and Underground Storage Tanks Committee to oversee the management of the North Windham School roof replacement and solar power installation project.
Thank you.
I second it, Ilda.
No, I want Elda to repeat it all too.
Nah, you're vicious.
Ditto.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Dr. Cabana Owen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye, all of what Tracy said.
Thank you.
Well, there's another lengthy one. So the last item would be the resolutions regarding the underground storage tank projects at North Windham Elementary School, Windham Center Elementary School, Natchog Elementary School, and Sweeney Elementary School. So I'd like a motion that the board enter the following resolution regarding the underground storage tanks at those schools. And I could read it, or we could have a volunteer read the resolution.
Read it if you want. It's up to you.
I'll take it.
Okay, Brendan.
I move that the board make the following resolutions. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education authorize the filing of the grant applications to the Commissioner of Education and the Commissioner of Construction Services as may be appropriate for the Windham Public Schools underground storage tanks projects consisting of A, the removal and replacement of the underground fuel oil tanks at North Windham Elementary School, B, the removal and replacement of underground fuel oil tanks at Windham Center Elementary School, C, the removal of an underground fuel oil tank at Natchog Elementary School. D, the removal of an underground fuel oil tank and an underground propane tank at Sweeney Elementary School. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education hereby authorizes the preparation of drawings and specifications for the underground storage tank project. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education hereby authorizes the expenditure of $345,000 for bonds to cover the anticipated project costs to complete the Windham Public Schools underground storage tank projects. Resolved that the Windham Board of Education authorizes the financing of its local share plus potential ineligible costs for $69,000 for the Windham Public Schools underground storage tank projects. Resolved that the town of Windham has established the ad hoc North Windham School Roof and Underground Storage Tanks Committee to oversee the management of the Windham Public Schools underground storage tank projects.
I'll second the
you.
motion.
Wow.
And Katina, you seconded?
Yes.
Thank you. I sense that there's a lot of work that Dawn Tomakos and Tracy Lambert must have been doing behind the scenes with this, because it's taken a long time to move this forward.
There's a committee formed about the roofs and the underground storage tanks. Robinson Camacho, Tara Kramer, and I think Chuck Pennywell is the third person on that committee. On those committees, there's two of them.
Yes, it's commendable that we have finally gotten this to this point. So any questions or comments? I think we're ready to vote.
Dr. Cabana Owen,
Aye.
Dr. Galucci,
Aye.
Dr. Gomez,
Aye.
Ms. Haney,
Aye.
Ms. Lambert,
Aye.
Mr. O'Neill,
Aye.
Ms. Ray.
Aye.
Thank you.
Well, we are fast coming to the end of this meeting. There is now public comment.
There is no executive committee, executive session.
No, there is, I don't believe there is an executive session.
We have
So
no,
we-
oops, sorry. We have no public comment at this moment.
No, I have a comment. I can't find my chat. Sorry.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank you. May I?
Yes,
Yes, I'm not finding where to raise my hand on this one. Thank you. As the chair of the Energy Commission, Jean Dismay, I am just thrilled with your unanimous support for the solar projects. That was a long time coming, and it's really wonderful to see it. I have a totally different question, though. I don't know how to access the references in your agenda, so I'd like to read the contract. And it, it says reference number 7, that reference number 8, and I don't know how to link to that stuff. So if you could answer that, I'd appreciate it. But thank you all very much for your unanimous support. It was great.
usually the references are included, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so it should be an active link on the agenda, right?
It should be online somewhere on our website.
And we can send it to you if it's not there.
Yeah, because I went to the agenda on the website and there's no active link. So okay.
I can send
Yes.
you the link, Jean. It's buried in, but it is there on the website and posted. So I'll send it out to you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, is that the end of your public comment, Jean? Thank you. Anyone else? Well,
I move, we move.
This is a record.
thank you,
This has to be a
Tracy.
record. I think it's because we have co-chair chairing.
Yeah.
Efficiency.
We'll give it to you, Mary.
This means we all have to go to the Board of Finance right now. No, just
I want to go home.
we won't tell them. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I think we've adjourned.
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Night all.
Good night.
Good night.